Eric and I would like to, first of all, wish everybody a Happy New Year, and we'd like to help you avoid that procrastination aspect of annuities.
Well, it's that time to be setting your New Year's resolution. So it's what do you need to do to get your financial house in order, perhaps.
Right.
And I think what we see a lot of times, especially right now, with the low rate economy or the low rate environment, the problems in the economy, people are saying, you know what, I'm just going to wait.
Yeah.
I've talked to people now that have been waiting for 18, 19, 24 months.
3 years, 4 years, waiting for it to get better.
That's right. It's going to change. So I don't want to do it now because...
How long have they waited in Japan for it to get better?
I think they're going on 20 years now.
20 years. Yeah, and I don't think that we're Japan. So I don't think, folks, that we necessarily have to use that as a true analogy. But the fact of the matter is that we've had 4 years or so of, we've seen the market rebound and do better, but we're still in really a secular bear market, and our economy still hasn't gotten up to what it was back in the late 90s.
Yeah, and there's strategies you can use, especially within annuities. I mean,
Right.
if you're afraid of making the wrong decision, you can at least make a decision with an annuity that has a return of premium aspect. So
Right.
if nothing else, a couple of years from now, you start over again.
Right,
I mean,
right.
there's things you can do and
Right.
strategies out there and pieces that can allow you to move off the couch, so
Right.
to speak, and get going.
Yeah. Well, and the goal isn't just to go out and get an annuity.
No.
Eric and I are not proponents of everybody needs an annuity or everybody needs to make a quick decision. It's just the opposite. If your situation, your goal, your objective is for the type of things that annuities can help you with, and you've been investigating it, what we call in the industry, and it's used a lot of term, is go ahead.
Analysis paralysis is my favorite term. So
Yeah, we see it all the time, where for one reason or another, it's just easier to put it off. It's
well, the fear of making a bad decision puts you in a
Right.
position where you make no
Overweight,
decision.
yeah.
I'm making no decision because if I make a decision, it's going to be a bad one.
So by default, many times you do make a bad decision, and so again, when you're wanting to get into the annuity aspect, you want to make sure that you have weighed everything over to a reasonable degree.
Sure.
Done your research, and then if it makes sense. The key is, Eric, wouldn't you agree that if you're meeting your goals and your objectives, you've really solved the problem?
Oh yeah, and that's exactly, we always talk about working backwards. So
Right.
if you know what you want to achieve in the end, it helps you design and put the pieces in place to help you get there.
Right.
So you have to have a target. I always used to quote Zig Ziglar, and he said, you'll never hit a target you can't see.
Right.
And that's true of your financial house. So
Right.
so
Right.
as a financial resolution, perhaps this 2013, start thinking about what your targets are. Where do you want to be?
Right.
When do you want to be there?
Right. And once you've identified the targets, you've identified the solution, it's okay to move forward. You don't have to keep analyzing and, the paralysis of analysis. Yeah. There's a certain level of becoming comfortable and making a decision. And folks, if you're anything like the clients we work with and most people that we've had experiences with, once you've made that decision, you're going to want to second guess yourself. You're going to lose a night's sleep or part of a night. And yet, at the same time, you'll feel a sense of relief that you've made the decision.
Yes. Yeah. And it's work with a professional.
Right.
Sometimes when people log into our site and they say, I look at all the annuities out there. There's
Right.
over 2,000, almost 3,000 annuities there. How can I choose?
Just completely overwhelming.
Well, and what we say is, that's where you need to work with somebody that's a professional,
Right.
because they'll help you narrow down your
Right.
selections and give you a much more reasonable pool
Right.
to work within, because they know what you're trying to achieve and they can pinpoint what the best opportunities to help you get there are.
Yeah. And research on the internet of that nature, Eric, it's a great place to start. And what it really does more than anything, I believe, is it helps you folks to be able to ask the right types of questions to an advisor, to have knowledge of what you're looking for in a general sense. And And that way the advisor can start to narrow down in a much more specific product-oriented sense of what's going to actually solve the problem.
Yeah. So resolution, take action, even if the action is making a plan. So it's
right.
your retirement. You get to do it once, do it right, but don't let inaction be the plan, because it doesn't work that way.
Right, exactly. And Eric, in this video, we haven't talked a lot about specific annuities, and I think it's good to have a good general discussion like this, where just kind of share the holdbacks that we see with different individuals we work with, and also I just want to add this to it. We see a lot of folks that make a decision that have done their research, and they're very comfortable with their decision, and they're very glad they did. And years later, they're very appreciative of everything that they've accomplished.
Yeah, it's the safety, security.
Right.
When you make that decision, sometimes you feel like you're giving something up, but you're not just giving something up. You're creating the first step in creating a plan. So.
Right. So folks, make that New Year's resolution, not necessarily to run out and buy an annuity, but to go forward and do something that's very constructive, that's going to make a difference this year.
Sounds good. And I resolve to see you in 2013.
Thank you.
Have a great day.